Right here. Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. It's Monday, June 28, 2021. Welcome everyone to the most exciting 2 hours in crypto podcasting and technical analysis brought to you each and every day. We're back for yet another installment. Today's episode seemingly kind of special. Not only have the markets, of course, turned up, we seem to have left much of the panic selling of last week behind. Was that the last dip? Was that the last low? In fact, seems to coincide with a very special event, and this could be the sign, of course, of where things are going to head from here on out. This is the first broadcast with Alex somewhat permanently settled in Puerto Rico. So everybody give it up for CC's lead analyst, Alex. He's here back on the show.
Yes, I have done suppressing the markets for my tax benefits. Now that I'm finally in the new location, the markets can go ahead and rise. I will allow it.
I'll allow it.
Yes, go ahead, Mark.
Indeed. All right. So yes, Alex will officially be well, I don't know if it quite qualifies as international, but it might as well be. It'll be the first.
Google says mics are low. I don't know which ones in particular. But...
yes, that's a. No, my levels are coming in okay, but maybe if I let Alex speak a little further. In fact, Alex, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your way over there and how you're feeling.
Oh, okay. Well, my trip here sucked in a lot of ways. Most of it at my hand. Well, For instance, I accidentally I got someone driving me to the airport. We went to the wrong airport because at one point we tried to take I-95 and turned out the entirety of I-95 was closed on the way to the airport. And then I put in Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport instead of Fort Lauderdale International Airport. Big mistake. We got there, and then I was already convinced I'd missed the plane. So because I had a lot of bags. I'm moving to Puerto Rico, so those all have to be checked in. It's not like I can just hop on. But I got there, and I'm checking in to get the boarding passes and stuff. I figured I might as well give it a shot, and it says you have until 2:03 to check in your bags. And I look, and it's 2:03 literally on the screen. Like, oh my god! I'm like pushing OK as hard as I can, and just go. But it went through, and so I made the flight, got off, and then the lady on the airplane gave me. I had asked for a Sierra Mist, and apparently I'm the only person on the plane who wanted a Sierra Mist. They didn't have any, except like they had to go look for it, and they found one. But I'd already like given up and settled for a ginger ale. Like I didn't want it that bad. Well, so they brought me this soda, and I felt bad. Like they went through all the extra work, so I was like, of course, I'll just hold on to it. And so I got the soda for the entire flight, and then I just like stuffed it in my bag as I'm getting off the plane. And then of course, and when I'm in the concourse, my bag fell, and the laptop in my bag pierced the soda. I picked it back up, and then the soda's just like spraying everywhere, drizzled all over my computer. So much soda is like coming out of the bottom of the computer bag, yeah. And so I had to spend the evening with Bricks and Subtextually. They helped me rescue my laptop. We opened it up from the inside, and we cleaned it out on the inside.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Disaster averted, but you're there and you landed, and I'm super happy for you. And
already got friends.
Yeah, I'm glad things have worked out, Alex. Things have like really, it's crazy how far a lot of things have come around here, you included. It's pretty exciting. In fact, I'm kind of jealous. I hope that one day soon, indeed, I too can resettle somewhere fun and exciting and warm in some really sweet climate. So, yeah, congrats, dude, and look forward to continuing the show, broadcasting with you with a much greater distance, I guess, geographically between us. But I mean, the internet speed seems solid there. Yeah, internet's great, really bringing us together, right? Jason and I are not that far apart. Even for a while, I guess Alex and I were somewhat on the same seaboard, at least. Now the man somewhere in the Atlantic, kicking it
in the middle of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still on the East Coast. I'm still in Eastern Time Zone at least.
Same time
Well
zone.
then, all right. Guess things were not that far apart after all. All right. Of course, we got Jason with us here as well. Jason, my man, how's your weekend? How is the market?
I had a great weekend. As you guys know, that I don't usually trade on the weekends. I like to let the market just kind of fish itself out. And of course, we see what's very typical of going into the weekend with a bunch of selling, and then also we end the weekend right back where we started. So hopefully, people were protecting themselves, not getting too ahead of themselves, trying to short the market and getting destroyed. But I had a great weekend with friends. I had a couple of 4th of July parties that were a little early, so it was definitely a good one. Ready to get into this week.
Yeah, me too. Should be an interesting week at that ahead of us. Like I said earlier, the panic selling might be very well behind us, and things are kind of turning up in the market. You gotta wonder, is there going to be a bit of a top of the range? Are we about to run headfirst into the top of the range right here, right now, or are we ready to pierce this layer of resistance right here? And this week should prove exciting. Or are we going to turn down? That's of course part of our poll that I have prepared for today. So we'll explore this.
Title: Turn down for what?
Turn down for what? For who?
We don't turn down for nobody. Not around here at the Kraken Cryptocurrency Enterprises Super Lab. We're about to get into it, guys. In fact, let's do it right now. Let's kick the show off.
Is the temperature out there, Alex?
Yeah, what's it like over there? Warm, muggy, average?
It's warm and muggy. But it is a very nice 70-some degrees here in the place that I'm staying. So
Beautiful. Air
Yes.
conditioned.
Central air, the greatest thing in the world.
Since sliced bread.
Don't let the future New World Order technocrats take away my precious air conditioning and refrigerants. I beg of you. All right. Enough about climate change concerns. Let's get into it, guys. Let's see what the price action of the weekend has brought us. Of course, last week we closed the show down with the poll asking where price was going to head. You know, option B, I believe, was sideways. And indeed, we kind of sideways, but then late Sunday, here we are. We've turned it up. And yesterday's daily candle closed, you know, solidly above the baseline. Turned up in a big way. WADA's not quite there. Not even Minx really above the zero yet, based on some of the CC indicators here, guys, of course. You know, is this a range, or indeed, are we ready to head up? This is certainly something I'm looking forward to seeing. Alex Tackle. Yeah, yesterday if we look on the hourly, there was just like a nice fat green candle.
Oh, yeah, there's a nice big hourly candle.
I remember talking to you yesterday, Jason. I was out on the town and we were DMing each other a little bit on the go. And just when this hourly candle turned up, and yeah, man, we were both. I
was like, look at the chart, man. It's like there's a whack-a-noodle hourly candle, and it just like came out of nowhere.
Yes, indeed. We're still on standby for that Jericho, hoping for a huge volcanic eruption of Bitcoin gains to manifest. Hopefully any day now, or maybe it will just inch up. Might be a long summer, guys. Hang tight. So, yeah, that's the last 24 hours of price action on Bitcoin. Let's quickly hop into Ethereum, because Ethereum indeed has done something as well. Broken through 2,000, right, guys? And today's candle finally peeking out above the baseline. Is this change of events turn a course for Ethereum? Have we bottomed Ethereum? Are we ready to, at the very least, test up from here? Right? Have some important zones maybe up here. Let's say $2,200–2,300. Is that inbound for us momentarily? Currently getting sold into, but still holding up decently well above the baseline. Look forward to the other indicators. Pretty flat, but it's not to say that we might not get a long signal sometime this week with some continued price appreciation on Ethereum. All right, Ethereum seemingly pumping even harder than Bitcoin off the lows in the last 48 hours. Let's have a look at XRP. You know, I gotta still change one little thing on my training view here. All right, here we go. XRP 65 cents, still below the baseline. Nothing really going on here. Check out Polkadot, same deal, whistling away here at $15 Polkadot.
Yeah, this kind of sucks. I mean, we got some things that are up. BSV is up 30%, but DOT is up like what, 2 or 3%. That really sucks. But right now, I don't see a lot of rhyme or reason in the things that are bouncing as hard as they are.
Really not. Money's getting deployed into space. People are picking up some necessary tokens. Here is Usama, looking a bit like the dot chart. Yes, it's picked up decently well from its lows. It's up 20% on today's candle. Not too shabby. Fingers crossed Kusama continues from here. Hey, here's Doge. Turning up and closing above the baseline. Kind of sold back down after yesterday's close right above Keltner channel by a hair. Is Doge, of course. Now this is what we're faced with, guys. Doge permanently correlated or moving in sync with the majors. I guess Doge in many ways a major, but this is what we're subjected to. I was still hoping for one major royal flush on Doge. Maybe we'll still get it, but might still very well get it. But Doge currently at 26 cents. Bit of a far cry from the lofty highs we had just a few months ago. But I imagine this doggy still has its super fans out there. Its days might not be over yet. Quick look at sheep. No a whole lot. Here, Jason. Maybe we should. It's up 40% from that week ago. We should have bought it.
Was it?
But still kind of swirling around. This middle. If this is a range here, looks like middle of the range. We'll see what comes next. Hey, guess what? I already got a small bag of sheep. Very small bag.
No, we might have a broken uptrend, or might have a broken downtrend there. You want to draw that out?
something like this.
Just
What you're
those
thinking of?
those three green peaks.
I'm
Barely.
sure you can draw a straighter line than that. buddy.
I'm
Come
sure
on.
I could, but I was trying to demonstrate this broken up trend, and it's a barely. Well, I mean, okay, I guess if I expand it out this a bit more, I'll let you draw the diagonal lines. With that said, I mean, maybe kind of, maybe if this continues off the close, still seems well planted below it, but alas, I will leave the diagonal lines for Alex to draw just shortly in his next segment. In fact, here's gold going mostly sideways. Yes, quite a sideways adventure on gold since hitting the lows around 1700 just last week. And here's a look at Dixie. Yes, gold and Dixie, seemingly the same chart patterns, but kind of inversed. Dixie, what's Dixie gonna do next? And here's a quick look at Tesla. Yeah, it looks like it topped out last week. See what comes next. Alright, there's your quick overview of some of the weekend's price action. All eyes, of course, on Bitcoin and I guess Ethereum to a great degree. Alright, let's hop into the next segment, guys. Let's look at the bubbles today. And, it is a bit of a relief rally day for all things altcoins. Yes, as Alex mentioned, even BSV seemingly one of the biggest gainers on bubbles today. It's up 28, nearly 29%. BSV, everybody. Here's Comp following right behind, up 27%. Comp, big day for Comp. Kusama, at least according to bubbles calculations, Kusama is up a solid 27% today. Nice. Double-digit gains across the space, including the likes of, Sushi, Celsius, Curve. Well, Vthor is up. Arun is up 21%. You got the likes of Vet still. Man, a lot of everybody's favorites. Synthetics. Some of the top DeFi players in the space, all posting double-digit gains today. Among them, of course, there's still a few.
Interesting. So you said it's everybody's favorites that are up today. Could that mean today's pump is mostly retail driven?
Potentially, but I wouldn't want to pretend that a lot of these top DeFi plays aren't coins of substance. So who knows?
I mean, DeFi can be popular with retail too. I just mean, like, which corner of the market is really pushing this? It's just an interesting observation you've made. That's all.
Certainly. But of course, after the meltdown, the epic meltdown of the last couple months, the least you can get is the odd 10-15% bone thrown at you today. Kind of like, again, got the likes of Phantom here. Even Holochain is up here with nearly 10% gains. You have the likes of Algo as well, up nearly 10%. A decent day. Solana up nearly 12%. Man, I'm seeing, like I said, everybody's favorites are somewhere on bubbles today. This is a great snapshot of bubbles, guys. You want to build a portfolio with, I guess, maybe 50 alts. I feel like a lot of these would suit that menagerie, I guess. Is that the right menagerie? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Menagerie?
Menagerie? I think it's menagerie. I don't know. I gotta go back and.
Menagerie is like a.
The little animal, the little mini animal.
Yeah, it's like a collection.
Yeah, exactly. So this is my particular menagerie of alts right here. I like the snapshot. Today's bubbles, guys. Bubbles feels good today. It looks good. The market feels good. Is this? I feel like I've just taken, just had a shave, just splashed some aftershave on, and. We're ready to start a new week with our best foot forward in the crypto space. Hopefully, Calamity doesn't follow this statement shortly within the next 24 hours. But there's your look at bubbles, everybody. Let's get into. I guess we can get into the news and then do the poll. I can't remember. Do I do the poll first or do the news now? I'm gonna have to set this permanently up as a schedule. Now that we're back on YouTube, the polls are back. So indeed. We gotta take a look at those polls. In fact, I think now is a good time to get into the poll. Now that I'm thinking about it, news will come right after the poll. So let's get into it. Here's a look at the poll, guys. If you want to check out the community tab over on our YouTube page. Maybe we'll check in with last week's poll real quick. I mentioned this earlier. Bitcoin slumped ahead of the weekend trading session. What sort of price action did you think the next 72 hours will bring? All right, let's see how this worked out. 3 options. Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin sideways, Bitcoin dump. 41% of respondents. The leading response to the poll was mostly sideways Bitcoin over the weekend, and seemingly this kind of held true. I think, despite, even with the turn up on Sunday, seems like we kind of closed roughly where we kind of began the weekend, maybe ish. Once again, the CC audience sentiment prevails. Another decent call in the comment section for what it's worth. Let's look at today's poll, though. Let's see here. Reads the following: with Bitcoin seemingly recovering from last week's panic lows and Ethereum having now breached the $2,000 price level, where do you think the markets will head next? Got 3 options for today's poll. The first one is, this is just top of the range, we're heading back down. All right, do you think we're just going to continue the summer ranging in the 30s like this? And this is just the top of said range. First option's for you. Second option's dead cat bounce. We're going to plummet this week. All right, do you think this is the real top of the current range and we're about to post another massive leg down? Are you super bearish? Second option for you. And finally, something for the bulls here. Are you feeling the FOMO juices beginning to flow? Third option reads, big move to the upside to rekindle FOMO this week. All right, I'm going to refresh this page real quick, see if any poll responses came in, and they have indeed. 11 people have voted so far, guys. We're going to check in on the results toward the end of the show as well. Currently, we have dead cat bounce, we're going to plummet, and big move to the upside, FOMO. Both have equal amount of responsive, 5 apiece, I presume. 45% of respondents on each side. So yeah, our audience currently a little down the middle. I'm going to check out this poll again later in the show, and if you guys want a link to the poll, I guess I could just drop it into the chat now.
Yeah.
All right, link to community poll has been deposited in the live chat. Should also be visible on YouTube. Like I said, we'll check in on further results later in the show. In the meantime, let's hop into the news, see if we got anything interesting lined up today. All right, this first piece here, more or less what we've already discussed, and you've already followed probably pretty closely in the show, guys. Yes, Bitcoin seemingly defending 30,000. Are we prepared for the recovery? That is the big question. But this is besides the point. This is something we're going to cover later in the show, but let's get into the next news piece. Here's one from Cointelegraph. Morgan Stanley Equity Fund apparently owns 28,000 shares of the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust per the SEC filing. The investment bank reportedly owned a significant stake in GBTC as of April 30th, according to a recent filing with the SEC. So if anybody's wondering, Morgan Stanley, massive investment bank, of course, massive Wall Street player. Do they have exposure to Bitcoin? The answer is yes. Yes, they do.
Barely. $45 million to Morgan Stanley is like a sneeze.
Well, I suppose it is. Exposure was worth over... Yeah, it's not even 45 million. I'm not sure we got 45 million. But hey, it's something. It's something not insignificant, I suppose. It's having some skin...
$40 and they're like, oh, we actually don't know what to do with this money. Oh, let's throw in the Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin.
The Morgan Stanley Europe Opportunity Fund, which invests in established and emerging companies throughout Europe, owned about 28,000 shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust as of April 30, according to a filing. The exposure is worth roughly 840,000. The exposure was worth over 1.3 million at the end of April, according to the filing. All right, so I guess it's seen a bit of a depreciation since then. All right, nothing too significant, I guess, to report here. But hey, some skin in the game from Morgan Stanley. Here's a demonstration that the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust does work as intended. Institutional exposure vehicle at your fingertips. Let's get into the next piece. Crypto Potato writes the following: China imposed crypto crackdown to clear the way for the CBDC. This according to top executive over at Jefferies, their financial analyst and global head of equity strategy, Christopher Wood, opined that the Chinese officials want no competitor for its digital renminbi. This is why they enforced a crackdown on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies lately. All right, if anybody was seeking an explanation, why all the China FUD, the China Bitcoin crackdown, this particular analyst floating this idea. They don't want competitors for the rollout of the digital renminbi. Yes, they do want a nice clean launch to this new CBDC trial. China cares about its CBDC and not the carbon footprint. Well, this is almost a duh moment, I think. Prominent analyst who's obviously focused on Asian markets surmised that there's more to the story behind China's negative stance against crypto mining and trading. In his opinion, the authorities do not truly care about CO2 emissions and the environment as they may have claimed before. All they aim for is to neutralize the competition of its own digital yuan. Quote, certainly the decentralized aspects of blockchain technology, which is so appealing to libertarians opposed to the fiat currency as state monopolies, is the complete antithesis to China's collectivist system. China understands this. Really a far more important issue to Beijing than carbon generating aspects of Bitcoin mining. Yeah, I mean, this is China here. We're talking about, the industrial, center of the globe, famous, I think, for their emissions. Seemingly, what was motivating this was not so much environmental concerns. Indeed, it could be something much different than that. Probably related to digital yuan. Other issues you can imagine, political, financial, not so much environmental. And again, I would kind of concur with this gentleman's thoughts. Might have less to do, like I said, the environment, more to do with kind of halting unnecessary competition. Yep, the China's war on crypto continues. Let's see, anything else really of new to mention? No, the crackdown continues, and it's intensifying. Adverse stance against crypto because of the incoming digital yuan. No surprise, third largest Chinese bank is actually working on the yuan. Has launched further. All right, it's a story that's developing, but something to think about. What's spurring all this China FUD? Hey, at least here in the West, seemingly in the U.S. and so forth, are we welcoming Bitcoin and mining with open arms? Seems like there is indeed a shift afoot away from China. I don't know if that's a good thing necessarily, of course. Did they have their use of it? Did they milk the Bitcoin cow for all it's worth, and now they're just dumping it onto the West? Or is there something greater afoot here? Are we about to enter a true crypto renaissance with it coming up sharply here in the West? Something to think about. Here's a look at another piece here. ICP logs revenge recovery after crashing 95% since launch. All right, so the decent rebound. Long-awaited rebound has come, of course, after the community accused ICP team of dumping $6 billion worth of ICP tokens. Guys, the team had to get out. They have their own aspirations. I'm sure they need their own beachfront properties to lock in. That might involve dumping on investors' heads, or the Coinbase listing users' heads, I suppose. So a bit of controversy, of course, stemming out of the ICP community. I guess they came up with this figure. Someone asked the question, what crashed ICP? And so the community members are, of course, alleging that Dfinity, the Zurich-based nonprofit backing the ICP project, has dumped almost $6 billion worth of ICP since the token became tradable. One Redditor here, Trap Sandwich, who claims to be an early investor, wrote a detailed analysis more than a month ago on Dfinity, noting that wallets linked to the ICP team continuously sent their tokens to exchanges.
Let's remember, non-profit does not mean not-for-profit.
Yep. Dfinity moderators curiously deleted all posts on this topic. Yeah, you can't have too much of this pointing the finger at the team Trap Sandwich also claimed another Reddit post that Definity locked ICP that Definity locked the ICP tokens that their early investors had held for an extra month after they listed the token across crypto exchanges. But at the same time, the firm did not lock any of its own 111 million ICP holdings. Right. Alas, this is the world of ICOs, major listings, dumping tokens into liquid-rich environment of hungry retail investors just snapping up as much ICP as they can. Hey, it's going to be a new internet computer. Didn't you hear? Well, apparently, out of the $6 billion dumped, somebody on the team, at least probably a good part of the team, has made away like bandits. You guys tell me. Did anybody here buy ICP on the listing? Did you buy it all the way down? ICP, of course, we were asked to chart ICP several times in the last couple of weeks. So I imagine somebody here in the audience did buy up whatever the ICP team was dumping, but alas, this is just the way the space is. But we'll take a look maybe at the ICP chart later. Just a warning here. Something Alex frequently, I feel, says on the show. You can always buy it cheaper later. Ain't that the truth? Congrats, I guess, to the $6 billion party that the ICP team can now apparently throw. It was a good time. It was a good time to launch ICP. Note to self: when I launch my my next crypto project, make sure you dump it right at the top. Make sure you open the gates and you dump the food into the trough right at the peak of the market. Clearly, they timed this like a boss. Bitcoin cannot and should not replace fiat money, says Greece's former finance minister, former minister of finance of Greece, that Bitcoin creates feudalism and should not replace fiat money because of its fixed supply. Man, this guy's onto something. I like this. Smart. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, of course, this probably triggered many people in crypto land, but alas, I think I'm on the same page as this gentleman here as well. Bitcoin and other cryptos cannot and should not replace fiat currencies, argued the former finance minister of Greece. Additionally, he supported the popular narrative that countries should aim at adopting blockchain while averting using Bitcoin. Speaking to the Greek reporter, who has never been a Bitcoin fan, he used the opportunity to bash the asset. He touched upon one of the most notable Bitcoin merits, the limited supply, but actually said it's the primary reason why the crypto cannot and should not be used as a currency. Suppose that with this is of course him, quote, suppose that with a magic wand Bitcoin replaces fiat money. That would be catastrophic. We would all now be in a very dire straits. What will happen when we have a pandemic and you need to increase the money supply? You cannot increase the supply of Bitcoin because of its fixed supply. Worth noting that while Greece's former minister sees 21 million Bitcoin ever to exist as a drawback, other prominent names from the financial world
Why do we increase the supply to pay for things? What if the tax dollars just actually went to helping people instead of bombing other countries?
There's perfectly sound logic in this idea that part of wielding the power of a sovereign state and its central bank, having control over your monetary supply is not necessarily a bad thing. To kind of decentralize that operation, it might be good in the application of Bitcoin. Not so much in your country's central bank. I totally get it. There might be more strings you need to pull. Bitcoin has its role, and I just don't think. And this is, I think, one of the most common misconceptions. This is where I kind of agree with this guy. I really don't think there's a need. First of all, Bitcoin, besides the fact, if we just ignore, obviously, scalability, there's just the issue of, the fixed supply. Not entirely suitable with the way, kind of monetary in theory works today and currency issuance works today. So I'm not totally against this sentiment here. With that said, I'm not going to bag on Bitcoin because I still think it does what it aims to do extremely well. In the meantime, let's maybe if we do have issues and we do have criticism of existing monetary policy, maybe the issue isn't to throw the central bank out with the bathwater, right? Maybe what we really need to do is reform central bank policy, government policy, etc., etc., etc. finally, he did indicate that Bitcoiners celebrate Bitcoin because it's not state money, but asserted that this is a natural conclusion, means that it can never be a currency. Yeah, this is fair. This is fair because I just don't think that Bitcoin may be a reserve asset, but indeed it will never be a state currency of sorts. So there you have it, guys. This was one of the top trending stories today. Like I said, it triggered a lot of people in crypto, but I don't think for all the right reasons. The former Greek finance minister, everybody. All right, are we doing on time? Pretty much out of time. SEC is moving to block Ripple from questioning the former SEC director William Hinman. Yes, the SEC Ripple saga drags on, and of course Ripple at the bottom of this really wants to grill the SEC. They want to get into the SEC's internal documents. They're trying to get in, trying to, I guess, cross-examine Hinman, and they feel he's got privileged information regarding the decision to officially name Bitcoin and Ethereum non-securities. This really does boil down to this, guys. They want to hear on what grounds exactly did the SEC determine Bitcoin and Ethereum to be basically non-securities, but at the same time determine the opposite for Ripple. I can kind of wager a guess as to how they did this. With that said, clearly the Ripple lawyers feel there's something to be had by, you know.
Gonna hazard it?
Oh, well, sorry. Well,
It's kind of teasy.
It's yes, certainly. It's well, you know, it's one had a bit of one's a completely corporate kind of top-down distribution model. The other had, I guess, kind of a divine immaculate conception, and came up over a period of 10 years. Ethereum may be a little different, but I still think that Ripple stinks of corporate cash grab greed. So I think they're fundamentally different. But hey, I guess if you put the ex-SEC insider on the stand and cross-examine him, or just get deposition at least, you might very well find out that the way they have, you know, kind of arbitrarily ruled Ripple to be not a security, XRP a security, might not quite jive with their existing logic vis-a-vis Bitcoin and Ethereum. Of course, I'm kind of low on time, so I do have to wrap up the news segment, guys, but let's get into the next one. U.S. Fed official call. Excuse me. U.S. Fed official calls Tether a challenge to financial stability. Yes, the Tether FUD will seemingly track us forever. Senior U.S. Fed official called Tether stablecoin a risk to the stability of the financial system. In a slide presentation Friday, Eric Rosengren, president of the Fed Reserve of Boston, listed Tether among many financial stability challenges the U.S. Central Bank is watching. He included the stablecoin among what he termed new disruptors to short-term credit markets. All right. I'm pretty much out of time for the news, guys, but there you go. The Fed officials are all over Tether. Apparently, a Tether implosion wouldn't just rock the crypto, the Bitcoin world. But now Fed officials think there's even a risk to disrupting short-term credit markets. Go figure. All right, that's all I have for the news today. I do got to get into the next segment. Let's do it. Oh yeah, check in. Oh, no, I did polls, so we're good. That's probably why we are at 140. We did look at the poll. All right, perfect. Time to get into the live chat, see who's kicking it with us today. Our very loyal audience, as always, in the house. Let's have a look. All right, scrolling up here, let's see who was first in the chat. Looks like it was Right on Rice, Mr. David Rice, joining us live this afternoon. Writes, hey all on DLive. All right, shoutouts to you on DLive. It's good to have you here with us. Who else do we have? Ron Legato, a little late today. No, looks like you're here on time, but you're not first. Shoutouts to Ron Legato. Alex 1233, 3-month substreak baby. Yes, congrats for the substreak. I saw quite a few, I think, messages in the DLive window concerning substreaks. Thank you to everybody continuing to subscribe. It's nice to see everybody with the trader handles. The trader handles in the live chat on DLive. I can't thank you guys enough. It's so nice to have such loyal, dedicated audience. Enjoy your multi-month streaks. Let's have a look. Come on, CC. Let's have some stickers. Bring them back, if just for a while. I'll talk to Ben about that today. Maybe we can have Sticker Fridays or something, right? I do know some of the apes in the chat want to go berserk and let the stickers fly. Hey, listen, I don't blame you. I got some stickers on my own. I'm collecting on DLive. Want to, spam in the chat myself. So we will look at that. Thank you for the sticker question. Dave Rice, late is better than never. Certainly. Daniel, Money Mondays, you got this. Yes. Money Mondays, guys. Stack your chips while you can. Like I said, I got some SHIB actually from a liquidity mining event over at crypto.com. So I have a small allocation of SHIB. See where SHIB takes us in the future. Alex, did you buy SHIB? Or did I just dream that?
You dreamed it.
I literally must have dreamed it. I seriously remember having a dream where Alex came into the into the Discord voice with Jason and I, and I'm not even lying. I'm not making this up. I could swear I had a dream. He comes in and he's like, "Yo, I grabbed enough SHIB for the 3 of us." So I guess I must have just tripped.
Yeah, dreaming about SHIB.
Buddy, I certainly did not buy enough SHIB for the 3 of us either.
All right. All right. Might have to put that on a to-do list. Electric.
Dream.
That was alternate version me or decoy me. If anybody watched the new Rick and Morty yesterday. Anybody watching new Rick and Morty?
Oh, I haven't got to see those yet.
Oh my god, it was so good. All right, Electric. Afternoon, everyone. Shoutouts to Electric. We have Franklin MC writing good morning. Toby 1233. Shoutouts to you, Toby, over on YouTube. Prophet Bear, I'm out here lurking, busy at work. All right, Prophet Bear lurking in the YouTube chat, listening maybe with one earbud in while at work. Taz Blitz, good day to all. Shoutouts to Taz Blitz. Stu Walk over on DLive. Hello, hello. Alex 1233. We have Crypto Bull 21 with us as well. Shoutouts to Crypto Bull. Dark Rico. Alex, put the feet up by the pool with the cocktail in the sun, says Dark Rico. Yeah, maybe after the show, I'd have to order Alex some Uber Eats, celebrate with the company card. What do you think?
Get him a Big Mac?
Yeah, well, do they sell cocktails at the McDonald's in Puerto Rico?
I hope so.
No. Well, it'll have to be Uber Eats from a much fancier establishment. Tonight, gentlemen, we dine in hell. Franklin MC, who provides the best crypto education to get started? I think Alex frequently mentions Baby Pips.
Well, yeah, that's if you're looking to learn about TA. So you could mean something different by crypto education. Maybe you want to learn about blockchains and stuff. I can just use fucking YouTube, dude. I mean, you don't gotta go. There's no like special crypto education. It's just whatever you're interested in. There's a bunch of different technologies that are all different from each other. There's no one place to go and learn about them.
Yeah, it's YouTube definitely. Yeah. Just how does Bitcoin work? How does Ethereum work? How does crypto mining work? Topics like that. Andreas,
for each of the blockchains too. Like nowadays, I was talking to someone earlier today. They're asking, is Phantom like Matic or like Polkadot? It's like, well, actually, Matic is a layer 2 solution for Ethereum. Phantom is a new type of layer 1 solution that's a DAG. It's a distributed acyclic graph, which is not a blockchain. But it still runs smart contracts and Ethereum virtual machines, so you can port stuff over. And then Polkadot is a layer 0 solution where you can use the functionality to create a bunch of new layer 1 blockchains, which you can then hook back up to Polkadot as parachains, and then all the parachains can talk to each other, even though they're their own blockchains, over the layer 0 system. And so, but this goes to like, any place that you go to and you like, oh, what's mining? Oh, what does this one crypto do? It's just it'll only be specific to that one crypto and that one answer, because the whole industry is evolving and there's all these different technologies that are all doing different things. So yeah, I would say there's no good place to go to learn all that, because anything that you learn 6 months from now, all that information is going to be basically worthless.
Well, there's certainly some, some overarching principles that cover pretty much all blockchain projects, and it's certainly possible that by researching just the basics of Bitcoin indeed inspired most of what we have now in the industry. So getting into just the basics of Bitcoin, private, public key, cryptography, how the blockchain basically generates blocks and stacks them on top of each other, hashes them all over again. Kind of grasping all of this might very well give you kind of a more well-rounded ability to check out other projects and get a grip on how they function, what they're trying to do. But indeed, the space is shifting quickly, and how much real technical under the hood understanding you need, might recently become less and less important. I guess depends what your education aims to accomplish. But thank you, Franklin MC, for that question. You're at the right places. Alex1233, just be a sponge and absorb everything up. Yes, that's really the best you can do. Absorb as much as you can through osmosis, and you'll try and parse all the information later. Jezacoin over on YouTube, why did you move to Puerto Rico, he asks. Do you want to answer that? Or?
Tax purposes.
Tax purposes, mostly. There you go, guys. Alex, of course, upstanding citizen who always pays his taxes timely and accurately. But of course, want to mitigate the tax burden and still get along with tax authorities, you move to a jurisdiction like Puerto Rico and have at it. Alex, I look forward to you stimulating the local Puerto Rican economy.
There you go.
GT Mark IV over on YouTube writes, blessings to the traders. Thank you. Is it 34% in the States now? Asks Jezacoin. Damn, that's high. Yeah, I guess maybe not universally, but yeah, I guess the obligation.
I mean, it's 34% if you make like $400,000 a year, which I don't. Mine is less than that, but it's still enough that 4% is much better than whatever.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Joseph says it's hard to get to Gibraltar, but 0% tax for retail on crypto. Yes, Gibraltar, another go-to. UK peeps, you head to Gibraltar. The American boys, you go to Puerto Rico, and everybody celebrates their low tax havens. Bricks over on DLive writes, "Hey, Bricks, yes, the user Bricks happens to be one of the Puerto Rican contingent." Here at CC's community. Shoutouts to Bricks. Glad you made it over there safe yourself, Mr. Bricks. Jonah loves the show, is here with us on DLive. Hello, guys. How's the weather up there? Weather is decent in Puerto Rico, and it's pretty decent where I am. Ron Legato writes, I miss Subtext. She makes the chat very entertaining. Subtext is busy, I think, grinding on other things, so I will allow Subtext to grind away and get her money up and enrich, like I say, the local Puerto Rican and wider world economy. Thank you, Subtext. Keep it up. Jezacoin, congrats, Alex. You nerd to watch. I think he means you need to watch the Nomad Capitalist channel now. Go where you are treated the best. Okay, the Nomad Capitalist. I can see how that might very well translate to Alex's move. Chico Blanco Verano, left-wing Reddit capitalists. I love it. Chico Verano, you are more right than you know. Crypto Bull 21. It's only 105 degrees here. Oof. 105. Where is this guy? Arizona or something? 105. Wow. Good evening all, says Rhino TD. Seattle's like 109 today. Holy Moses. Furry Boffin. Good morning, CC. Oh, Johnny's in the YouTube chat. Johnny. We miss you, buddy. Come back to us. Dark Rico. Hey, Boffin. Yes, indeed. Hey, Boffin. Bust a move on that like button, says David Rice. Good advice, guys. Tricon32 is with us as well. Shoutouts to Tricon32. CryptoBull21. I'm fine with cheap dot. Yes, make sure you buy your DOT while it's still cheap. It's Monday. Let's go. It's my favorite day, says Bob the Builder. Hey, Jonah, I love the show, says, what's a small bag? How many millions? You know what? It's not really even, I don't think it's even in the millions worth of SHIB. Like I said, I participated in that liquidity mining event over at crypto.com. And, you know, a pretty small pittance that you get if you don't front hundreds of thousands of dollars in liquidity. But hey, it's still something. It's cheap. If it goes to $1, I'll be able to afford I don't know, seasons tickets maybe. All right, let's have a look here. Crypto Bull 21. It's DCA Mondays. It certainly is. All right, we got to get the chat segment done and over with because we got to get into the main event, and that's of course, yeah, brought to you by Alex and Jason, of course. Is it true SHIB listed on Coinbase? I don't see it on mine yet. Guys, do you know anything about Coinbase? Is a Coinbase Pro listing opening up to SHIB deposits? Do we know anything?
I didn't look.
I don't know too much. Not sure I care all that much either. But only for now. Wait until the governments get their way, says Rhino TD. Blah, blah, blah. Mr. Ether, my connection's terrible today. It's so muggy in Ohio, but could be worse. I'm starting to think Bitcoin was made at MIT. Yes, maybe Bitcoin was made at MIT, or as GT Mark IV says, Bitcoin was created by AI. Now that I don't think so. Jonah, love the show. Anybody else think Jay Clayton has stitched the SEC, gone after XRP? No, XRP will mess them up because he now works helping create crypto companies. Not sure how Jay Clayton fits into all this, but you might be onto something. David Rice.
I mean, he was the previous SEC commissioner.
That I know, but I guess like personally how he figures into the whole debacle and all that.
He started prosecution on XRP.
Indeed. Well.
Right before he left office, he started the prosecution.
Right. Yeah, maybe indeed there is something to that whole narrative. Was a project we fooled around with in school, fail every time. All right. USDT is not the only stable coin around. Why would it be a big deal if the Fed went after it? I think USDT certainly has a massive role to play with overseas markets, right? It's pretty much how they get their exposure to USD-denominated crypto markets. Could very much be a problem with shutting out much of the world to crypto. Yes, 70% of the market, and even if it's not the only one, as Alex says here. The weather in Puerto Rico is great, says Bricks. I'm glad to hear that. Vladimir Putin joins us in the YouTube chat. Can you take a look at Hex? He asks. All right. Putin's number one crypto pick. Yes, he wants the Hex. Him and Richard Hart. I should have known it. Both KGB agents. Where do you think the dollar to pay taxes comes from, Alex? Well, that's not really his problem anymore, is it? ETH1, love coffee. All right, yes. Drink up. The issuer has to spend first before it can tax.
Start doing charts at some point?
Yes, we do, guys. All right, I'm sorry, guys. I love reading comments, but I do got to get into it. Is Mr. Chico Verano secretly Scooter? Is he secretly you know, as soon as I hear about ability to tax, you know, you got to spend before you can tax it. These are modern money theory talking points. I recognize them from a mile away. Potentially Scooter, if not another like-minded individual in the chat. I love it. Let's get into the next scene, guys. Alex, if you don't mind. Oh, he's already live. How about that? All right, guys, we're getting into the charts right now, which you're all here for. Alex currently looking at the BTC USD chart. You know what I got to do? I'm diving into the live chat. I'm going to start extracting everyone's requests. Go ahead and post your requests now, guys. We're going to get into the request line in just a bit. In the meantime, Alex, take it away.
Okay. Right now, Bitcoin still looks pretty weak. We're sitting here in the middle of our trading range right now on the CME, as you can see, still hanging around the lows. Same is true for the standard Bitcoin chart. As you can see, we've gotten a bullish move off of the bottom. That's kind of nice, but it's not exactly impressive either, and we are still underneath resistance. There's just not really a long for us to take. We're not even above 0 yet on our oscillator. WADA's not firing off. This is the resistance level that we're kind of still sitting under right here. This trend-based fib. So, yeah, I'm not super impressed with Bitcoin's movement here. I was expecting Bitcoin to move more than the alts, but I guess the alts have just been so oversold that even a small movement off of the bottom was huge for a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum is kind of shaping up here. We're above the we're starting to get above the daily baseline, but we're nowhere near or long on any of our other indicators. This is still an area of resistance above us. It was previously support, and so we had support here, boom, break below, and now this is an area of resistance. So I'm concerned about us being able to cross over 2100, 2150.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, we have broken lower time frame downtrend. As you can see, here, broke this at I guess at candle close yesterday. That's what this was, right before candle close. Here we are back up in resistance. I can see a little bit more upward movement here on Ethereum before we get a rejection, if we get a rejection. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance here. This is interesting. Starting to get a 3-day sell signal here on dominance. Arguably on the weekly, we've begun to break above our previous high, or at least our previous close. I think I would like to see Bitcoin dominance continue to push upwards here before we have a significant pullback. Even though we're pulling back a little today, I'm not sure if I'm completely sold on this. Mm-hmm. Is that a break of trend? Maybe. Hey, breaks of trend worked over here and over here, right? So maybe the break of this uptrend is also, significant enough that we'll see alts do a little better than Bitcoin over the next few days. I mean, I don't want to suggest that this is going to be for any longer than a few days to a week or so. I still think we'll push up here on dominance, but hey, price goes up, price goes down. Money flows from alts, money flows to Bitcoin, money flows to alts, money flows to Bitcoin. So we could be seeing another little trend change here.
Getting close.
Yeah, I'm getting close. At least on linear trends. If you look at these as logarithmic trends, then we're not there yet. So see, log trend here. If we draw this as a linear trend, here we go. If you draw it as a linear trend, then we have broken it right here over the last couple of days. So arguably, we're getting there. We're getting there for alts. Not there yet on Bitcoin. These are locations on a lot of alts where we have been looking for reversals and buy zones. If we were to go through all of the alts that we've charted, we're sitting inside a lot of charts, a lot of boxes that say buy here on the alts. On specific alts, not on the perps. I don't know. Here on SHIB perp, we're still below the parabolic uptrend. Although, of course, we are still holding the long-term weekly uptrend here. Not quite there yet on mid burps. Same for alt perp, just not there yet. Oh wait, no, this is logarithmic. So on a linear, then potentially we're starting to get there, but yeah. So the question is, are they linear trends or are they logarithmic trends? Guess we'll find out. Anyway, but I guess what I'm seeing here is that alts seem to be recovering a little more strongly than Bitcoin. Maybe that shouldn't be surprising just because alts are just kind of a little more oversold than Bitcoin. That a lot of them are down like 80, 85%, 90%. So, you know, some 20-30% move upwards just kind of alleviate this oversold condition. Perhaps not surprising. I have heard a lot of people say, and I've considered myself, that this is probably a time where Bitcoin is going to do better than the alts. Certainly that's how the last alt season started, right? Bitcoin had a really long run, and then boom. Once Bitcoin paused and traded sideways at around 50K for 3 months, alts had their time, right? Maybe that's true, but maybe it is also true that all that's happening right now is that both Bitcoin and alts are kind of alleviating their oversold status through this bounce. You know, because we don't necessarily have a break of any significant downtrends here on Bitcoin yet. So perhaps what we get here is move to the upside on Bitcoin and alts. Alts recover more strongly than Bitcoin because they're more oversold, and then the market takes that one more dump that we're still kind of looking for. We still haven't gotten that one more big leg down. And then if that were to happen in that way, then perhaps Bitcoin will take off more. I'm not sure. I'm just we have the way things went in the past to go by, and that's really all the information we have to work with now to try and guess what might happen next. What's the dollar doing today? The dollar is mildly up today. I would classify this as more sideways than anything. We do seem to be finding some support in this area, but we're like literally in the middle of this range. We know there's support here. We know there's resistance up here, and we're not even really touching any of them yet. So this is mostly sideways, and that's good enough for our purposes. Bitcoin and the alts can still recover from a sideways dollar. We don't need it to be going down. We cannot have the dollar moving up rapidly. We cannot have that. That's death for us. All right, the dollar is slightly up. I say the markets are up today, even though the dollar is also up. This is mostly a sideways dollar. A sideways dollar's got to be good for the markets after just a bad week last week, right? I haven't looked yet. Let's see. All right. No. Okay, dollar is slightly up. Markets are slightly down. Wow, we really did come all the way back up and retest this resistance up here on the Dow, huh?
Yeah.
Well, right now we don't have an exit signal, so this is not necessarily bearish. But the moment we picked our head right above the daily baseline, we rejected right here. That's not a great look. Look how time transformation has basically been staying right around or above 0 this entire time. This whole way up. Whoops. And then boom, we just fall off a cliff right here. I wouldn't be surprised if we start putting in lower highs here on our time transformation. It's very interesting. I had kind of been hoping that it would be a little bit stronger of an open this week for the Dow, because that would mean that we're more likely to continue on crypto. What about NASDAQ? Okay.
Another all-time high.
It's going for it. There's just no question now, right?
Yeah.
You know, maybe if we had bad news happen this weekend, maybe we could have broken down from there. With this new high, I just don't see it. What's Tesla doing? Still trading sideways at the point of control, but it's broken out here. Tesla, AMD. More update today. This is slowly starting to crawl up and away. A measured move would take us to 97, 98. Microsoft. Yep, this looks like a confirmed breakout. So we broke out here last week. We sold down towards support, held it, and then today we make a new high here, which is giving us a continuation signal on our oscillator. It looks good. This is a new all-time high for Microsoft too. When in doubt, follow the trend, right? If something's making a new all-time high, it's likely to keep making highs for a while. Okay, I believe you, markets. What about Apple? Big ups. We break the downtrend on Monday of last week. Tuesday, Wednesday, I guess we broke it on Tuesday of last week. Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we trade down towards the support of our now broken downtrend. It holds, boom, up today. I think Apple's got legs at least back up towards 140. I mean, it's not nothing. That's a few percents. Resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. Let's at least retest it, right? Interesting stuff. All right, well then the SPY is always somewhere in between. It looks like it's trading down, but we're above where we closed on Friday, so it's kind of hard to be super bearish here. I will say that the volume is very interesting here. Notice how we've got this low volume node that we've crossed above right now in this spot. Right in here. So this area is slowly to support at this time, I would say. Will this wake up on the daily? Gapped up on open, traded down all day long. Now we're trading back up. On lower time frames, it's vaguely bullish. But we do have a break of the lower time frame uptrend. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Well, at the very least, NASDAQ and tech stocks are looking really good. And Bitcoin and cryptos have a pretty good correlation with tech stocks. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Let's take a look at precious metals real quick. Man, gold is still trading sideways inside our, I guess this is like a support level, really. So, support, resistance, boom, 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 boom. Support, perhaps we're coming resistance. It just, makes you wonder, like, what's either accumulation or distribution is taking place right now inside of this consolidation area. You can see it right here. There's a lot of volume happening and trading in a very tight range. I'm not sure what direction it's preparing to move, but I do feel like whatever direction it moves off of this spot, it might move very quickly to whatever spot is next. So I would be willing to take. Yeah, I guess I would buy either direction. Just let it tell you before you do the thing. Silver trading sideways at the point of control. I still say this looks really crappy. I would not be fooled by this 1 or 2 blue weeks or red week or whatever. Price is up these last couple of weeks, but so much resistance overhead. After retests, we'll be breaking down on silver. If you thought you were short squeezing silver, I've got news for you. Silver is about to squeeze its shorters.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, silver's about to squeeze its longers. So. Palladium, interesting. Well, Alex of the past had a pretty strong opinion on what Palladium was going to do here. So, I guess at this time, let's expect this to continue testing resistance up here, the previous all-time high on Palladium. Which is right around, this is the weekly all-time high, so this is, see right here, weekly resistance. Looking to come back up, retest this resistance level. Resistance here, before rejection, finding support, lower high, trading sideways at this point of control, continuing to break down. Platinum seems to be finding some relatively strong resistance right here. This is a very strong bearish divergence. I think this is a bearish continuation, actually. A bearish continuation divergence. You can see right here. Like we see the oscillators making a way higher high, right? But the price, way lower high. That's the divergence. It's a divergence in the momentum or in the price movement, and in the power of the movement. So we see that there's just a lot of weakness here. So at the very least, I would expect us to come down and sort of sweep back towards $1,000, kind of land in this area for a little while. We may not. Maybe we will go underneath 1,000. Maybe we won't. And if so, I have this area marked out underneath here for our next potential area if this does not hold up. We've got the point of control down here around $900-ish. But I think I would still really like to see $1,000 hold here, even if we might have to trade inside of it for a little while first. It's kind of normal. This would be a consolidation area. Brent crude, strong rejection today. It's a very tight uptrend too. So we haven't gotten much distance off of our baseline, off of our uptrend here. So you could consider we maybe have strong support underneath us, or you could consider that we don't have a lot of margin for error here. If we stop moving up, then this trend is going to break really soon. On Brent crude and on WTI too. The charts are essentially almost always the same. So this is interesting. We do have a bearish divergence on the daily. Bada bing, kind of like that. Price has made a higher high, and our oscillator has made a lower high. And see, this one is bearish divergence in an uptrend, whereas before we were looking for a bearish divergence in a downtrend. Remember, it was like it's like a continuation signal, and this one is more of a reversal signal. If you see the difference here. Oh, sorry, this is kind of in your way. So yeah, I would consider this vaguely bearish here for Brent crude, and if this week continues downwards, then we'll have a weekly exit signal too. I think at that point, I would just maybe be looking for a retest down here towards $70.
Cheap gas.
Yeah, if we could do that, we could wick down towards that area, recover by the end of the week, and still have this be a valid uptrend that's hanging on here. But you can see it's a strong weekly uptrend. It's held since May, just like a lot of the uptrends on the alts and on a lot of different asset markets. Hell, even the S&P and the NASDAQ, they had trends that were hanging on for quite a while that just broke recently. Very interesting stuff. Oh, and maybe of note is the fact that we have this kind of three-wave pattern that we seem to be in the process of completing, like wave 1, wave 2 here, wave 3 in this area. For any of you Elliott wave people. So yeah, Brent crude is interesting here in the weakness that's being shown today. Soybeans, after heavily breaking down last few weeks, we're finally getting a relief rally. I would consider this. Shorters getting a little ahead of themselves on Friday, and then today they get faded. I actually expect this break of the downtrend to continue. So a couple different downtrends we can draw out here. Get out of my way. Yeah, there we go. Actually, it's probably more like that. Let's get that in there. So I could see soybeans swing back up towards $14, maybe even the $15 range. But I do expect further rejection on soybeans, and thus slightly better food prices going forward into the year. That'll be helpful. As you can see, we've almost soybean prices doubled since last year, so any kind of relief would be good for us. Same with corn. We were very oversold at the beginning of the week. Now we're recovering here, fading shorters. I would expect a recovery probably back towards $6.50. Natural gas continuing to be very strong. We were talking about this last week. Basically, since last week's close was as strong as it was, our next resistance level is until like $5. We just need to, salute natural gas and watch it go on its journey. It's just going to do its thing now. I think it's on its way to 5, maybe 4.5 on the low side. Sugar, interestingly, is still battering resistance up here. I believe this is a weekly resistance. Yes, this is a weekly resistance level. Here, fake out here. Okay. So we will see if we reject from here. If we do get another rejection, then I would love to see us come back down towards 15 cents on sugar. It's a very interesting bulge on our VPVR here that I'd like to see get filled in. This still looks like heavy resistance. So see resistance level, pool of liquidity far below us. So we come up here, we reject, we splash down into this liquidity level. Just kind of splash. Just like that.
Right.
World markets are looking kind of rough today. Australia may be rejecting from this resistance after all. China at resistance. France looking the same as Australia. This looks like a bigger rejection. This one is kind of convincing. This is almost a lower high, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hong Kong, at resistance. Not necessarily bearish because we have broken this downtrend right here. Arguably, there is an... Maybe it's on a different time frame. I feel like I brought this up that this is almost inverse head and shoulder-y, except the left shoulder here is just off.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be a shorter shoulder for this to be an inverse head and shoulder. Because you can't have like Igor here. This is not how chart patterns work. You have a bigger shoulder than the head. So maybe call it a complex triple bottom or something. I don't know. But it looks bottomy here. And like, look, on the 3-day, we're already crossing back above our point of control and our baseline. Water's starting to turn a little green. Time transformation is up. So there's a lot of things that make me think that Hong Kong's economy can continue here, regardless of whether or not we want to consider this to be an inverse head and shoulders. UK looks like AIDS right here. Not fantastic. Back under resistance. We had the resistance level here marked out. We had to fake out above it. We break down, and then we reject from that level again today. Just like, bam, we get right near the level, and the hammer comes down on us right away. So this looks like a pretty firm rejection. India, some strength. Interestingly, probably a little stronger than any of the other markets, but still ultimately hanging around resistance and below our daily baseline. I don't really want it right now. Japan, sideways at resistance. Singapore, below the daily baseline, at resistance. Yeah. We could maybe move up more, but I would still expect to see this break down. Taiwan showing some interesting strength today. So we've been kind of waiting for Taiwan to break down after the break of its uptrend all the way back here. But can I redraw this? Maybe it's me who is wrong, right? Maybe I've just drawn the uptrend wrong. Let's review it. Happens all the time. Yeah, happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to revisit your uptrends. I don't think I fucked this up. It's a pretty clean uptrend.
Mm-hmm.
No. All right. Well, then perhaps we're merely going to retest the highs right here. I'm still really expecting this to break down hard on the Twix USD. It looks like it would be. This is a good short opportunity at the very least. If we can just get one more rejection candle, I would take that and then just have my stop set on the other side of whether it was this wick that was higher or the wick that we produce here. It's gonna be a fantastic short, I think. I'd be targeting 560, maybe even 500.
Yep.
What are bonds up to? UK 10-year, kind of strong today. US 10-year, showing a little bit of strength, but at resistance. I would expect a rejection from here. 2-year, looking pretty crappy. Overall, interesting kind of head and shoulders-y type breakdown that we had in this spot. I guess we're a little oversold. I would expect to see 2-year bonds move up here. You know, what goes down must come up. What comes up must go down. Equal and opposite reactions in the markets and all that. We need symmetry. We move down a lot. Let's move up some. Five-year seems to be testing support here. And I kind of like the looks of this oversold signal on time transformation. That's not nothing. And now that we've wicked down into the liquidity of the lows right here, I could see us totally recovering from this spot on 5 years. Okay. NASDAQ, you guys already know. Big day today on tech stocks. Russell 2000 getting a little big for its britches earlier. We thought this was going to break out, and then today Tech stocks do good. Low cap business stocks, small businesses doing not so hot. How many times we rejected from this resistance level? Once, twice, 3 times. No bueno. Lower time frames also has us having broken the uptrend, as shown right here. Like again, it's not a nail in the coffin, but it's not a good look. We want to see more strength from supposedly if the trend has to be gathering strength to break through this very heavy resistance level of the 2,000 small stocks of the American economy. I mean, this is not small potatoes here. We can't make it over this level. We're going down. Like, that's how these things work. We cannot go up. We'll go down. So, very interested in what's happening here on the Russell and these resistance levels. I think we're good here on looking over the world economy.
Certainly.
We'll do the chart request in a minute, but I guess my wrap up is that tech stocks are strong. That's good. Dollar sideways. That's all right. But a lot of the rest of the world economy is looking like it's in for a trend change. Like, some things are turning up, some things are turning down, but trends are changing, and we would like to see all the trends that included crypto going upwards continue, right? We start seeing trend changes. Then the fear is that the trend is going to change in crypto, and this isn't just a brief pause in the uptrend, but is actually the start of a new trend, which is downwards, right? That's what we don't want. I guess we'll see. I'm tentatively, cautiously optimistic on Bitcoin and the alts for at least a portion of July. This still might be a sell and may go away situation. We'll know at the end of summer, and hopefully all of you who have been with us for the whole ride will have memories of the markets to kind of help guide you in the future about when is it true, when is it not true that we sell and may and go away. Obviously, it wasn't true last year. If you missed DeFi summer last year, I feel bad for you, but this year, it sort of feels like if you had sold in May and gone away, you'd probably be way better off, right? Than like almost the rest of us. At least better off than I. So we'll know more soon. But there's news out there today to give us pause, and there's news out there that's positive. So tentatively, I think I'm going to be bullish in this spot just because Bitcoin and the alts are already down a whole bunch. And as I mentioned on Friday, I feel like, if you're selling here, you might be shorting the bottom, at least near term. Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to get right into it. Get into the request line, guys. First request is already up on the screen. It comes from CryptoBull21. He wants to look at .USDT. He asks, is it time to buy in yet? All right. Would you buy DOT here?
I mean, I guess not yet. No, I wouldn't be buying it yet. So where? Yeah, okay, so a move of this head and shoulders pattern, which I do want to remember. I want you guys to remember I call this head and shoulders pattern like a month before the right shoulder completed. Just gonna do a little bit of bragging there. I know there were some of you dot heads that, well, I'm not going to say that. That sounds racist. You know what I mean.
Phrasing.
I know that there's some of you dot fanatics who had some serious doubts about that, but I did end up getting that one right. But yeah, a measured move of that would take us all the way down back towards $9 or $10. We're still below the daily baseline here. We still have, I would classify this as a resistance level. And we have it above us right here. So support. breakdown, resistance, breakdown. Sure, we could push up all the way into this area, maybe even a little bit up more towards 20, and reject from this consolidation area that we just had. Boom, another leg down. And you see we've got this very interesting volume spike right here at around $11.35. It's a very interesting level right here, right? I think this is where I would like to target. I think this is where I would like to have my buy here, buy zone if I'm looking at this.
Buy here.
I think I actually used the wrong word, but whatever. You guys get it. Yeah, this is just a heavy resistance area on top of us, and I would be really cautious here. But if we did break that, we'll be breaking the downtrend and this resistance level at the same time. So basically, I wouldn't want to be a buyer until we were back above $20 until we were at $10, right? Just this spot right here, I'm not sure it makes sense because it could still go either way.
All right. Target acquired on dot. Thank you for that look. Let's get into the next request. What do we got here? We have Hex. Yeah, Hex for Vladimir Putin, of course. Can you take a look at Hex USD chart, he asks. I also saw somebody in the live chat, Torrent. Yeah, Torrent in the live chat also asked for Hex. So let's take a look.
All right, let's make that happen. That's right. Let's use ChartX here. Very interesting.
So much price absorption.
Yeah, but you know, sellers are also. It's interesting. It's both buyers and sellers are exhausted in this spot.
Yeah.
Tentatively, I think this is worth taking. You've got strong support in this spot, so we had resistance. We break above it. Support. Move up. We've got the uptrend support here. We've got a break of the downtrend. I say it's worth taking in this spot because you have a very low risk entry situation. You know, if we fall back below 7 cents, you want to be out. If you fall below 7 cents, we'll be below the trend support, we'll be below horizontal support, and we'll have broken the low here. So there's like a three punch. There's a third one. There's like three like hard reasons why you would want to be out below there, and so you have that reason, and that gives you confidence in your trade. You're like, okay, well, I can take this trade to here. I can calculate with my I can set other resistance level. I can calculate what my win, what my RR is, like how much I'm risking to how much reward, and I know exactly when to get out. So this is a situation that I think lends itself very well to building a trade setup around it, at least discretionarily speaking. Obviously, you know, there's easier. Hey, if you guys build yourself a system, you don't have to look at all these different ways. You can just like throw your system on it, and it tells you whether to fire or don't fire. But I mean, I think looking at this, there's a lot to recommend this trade to.
All right, solid look at Hex USD. Thank you to Mr. Putin for that one. Let's get into the next request. We have the following from Rhino TD. Can we look for a long entry on BNB, please? All right, he wants you to maybe do your magic, plot out a long entry on BNB.
Looks like we might almost be there.
It's getting close.
Tell you what, this is why I didn't put up any new trades last night, even though the market looked like it was potentially changing direction. It's just like none of these longs are really fully cooked yet, right? We're still inside of the no trade zone. We're still hanging out at our lows. We haven't truly bounced off of this low yet. We are sitting on top of the support resistance level. So this area, the 2.36 of our trend-based fib extension, was at $280. Resistance here, resistance here. So this area, resistance, resistance. We break above it. We got support. Boom, boom, boom. Support, support, support. Finding support right here. We're finding support right here. And maybe this will hold. If so, we'll be above the downtrend. We'll be above the baseline. And at that point, we should start getting. We'll be in long signal territory. I don't know. I can't tell exactly whether or not we'll have enough volatility for WADA to start firing with the explosion level, or whether by the next candle, before we cross the qualifying line, we'll be above zero on our oscillator. Maybe we won't. But at that point, because BNB is moving with the rest of the market, because I mean, let's be honest, BNB is yet another chart that looks like half the other charts we've looked at today with the alts, and we'll see, like they all look like this with this downtrend, and we're right there on the downtrend. Will they? Won't they? Have we broken it yet? I think it makes sense to wait another day, and then if everything starts acting like Comp and Aave and a lot of the other heavy bouncers, then we'll have crossed these downtrends. We'll have crossed this baseline, and then we'll have the confirmation that we need to like more confidently take the trade. Whereas right now, you know, if we took the trade like right this second and we started turning down by the end of the day, I'd be like, fuck it, just get out of this trade. We just don't have reason to be taking it yet. Not yet. Okay, what's next?
All right. Thank you for a look at what? Sorry, what's up?
I will say, if we do happen to break down, then the levels I would look at are the $211 area, and then as I've had marked out here, 125 and 150.
All right. Excellent. Thank you for a look at the BNB by long entries. Yes, the long entry request for Rhino TD. Hopefully that covers that one. Let's get into this next one. Oh yeah, we're also like 3 minutes away from opening the chest. Let me get the chest of business in order. But I'm going to introduce this next request from Taz Blitz on DLive. He wants to look at Solana. Get your lemons in, guys. I'm going to get ready to open that chest in just a couple minutes.
Well, Solana, I think, looks better here than a lot of. I gotta say, this did not quite work. We didn't really reach the buy here area, did we? We almost wicked to it, didn't quite hit it. It's interesting. Solana looks interesting because we're very close to breaking this downtrend. And it looks different than a lot of the other ones. It's kind of less sheer here. We've gotten a stronger recovery on Solana. This is a very heavy buyback on our lows here that we didn't see on some of the other alts. A lot of the alts are still hanging around down here near their lows. Remember? Like if we look back and I were to pull up some other alts here. Let's see, what's a good example? How about let's just use Ethereum example. Right, so all this got bought up, and Sol is hanging out up here. Hold on, I think we can even let's overlay these. That might be nice to see. What does that look like? Whoops.
Blue.
There we go. There. Okay. So there, we've made the highs equivalent and the lows equivalent right here. So there, and there. So you can see they're roughly following each other on the dump until we start to bottom on the 21st. And Ethereum travels all the way down into this area and stays there, whereas Sol gets bought up. And then there ends up being a, like, what is that? Like a 10 or 20% discrepancy in between them on this range. So let's go back to see Sol USD again. So there, this area. So it gets bought back up here instead of hanging out near the lows. So I like it, and I do see the strength, but we want to wait until the downtrend is broken. There's still plenty of resistance above us, including just being inside of the no trade zone on our baseline. So we'll wait to see what happens. It sure would be nice to like buy the lows. I'm using air quotes because obviously the lows were actually all the way back here at $20. And so at this time, you're just buying resistance. There's this resistance level here. There's resistance level up here at 40. There's baseline. There's just no reason to be buying in this spot yet until we break a downtrend and we get some sort of better idea of direction. Okay. What's next?
Well, there you have it. There's your look at Solana, guys, and we've just hit 245, which means I'm going to distribute the lemons in about 30 seconds. Should give everybody plenty of time to prep their D-Live windows. By the time you hear me say this, that notification should be on your screen. Here we go. Distributing the rewards. 600 plus lemons to give away today. Nobody does it quite like CC here on the D-Live platform when it comes to lemon giveaway. What's up?
Said here we go.
Here we go. Yes, here we go. Indeed. Let's have a look here. Here is my browser window here. Let's see if I can put up a preview on screen. Yeah, there it is, guys. There it certainly is. Distributing rewards. You can see the countdown going. Oh yeah, I need to go claim. Damn it, I missed the claim on my other account. That's okay. Let's have a look at who won today's big giveaway. We have Rhino TD coming in first with 138 plus lemons. Very nice. Congrats to Rhino TD. Rounding out the top 5, we got Crypto Bull with 78 lemons, Taz Blitz with 56 lemons, and Alex 1233 with 45 lemons. Each one 38 lemons. Guys, thank you again. Glad everyone got their lemons in today. Yes, the lemons are dispersed, but it's time to get into the last few requests. About 15 minutes left in the show. We really got to fly through the remaining requests. Let's have a look. Paranormal Debunker wants to look at Barn Bridge. That's Bond. B-O-N-D.
It's got to be a chart jobbie, right?
Yeah. Barn Bridge. It's an Ethereum-based token, ends in 750F. Top trading pair, Uniswap, Bond against USDC. Huh.
A lot of bonds.
A lot of bonds. That's the one I think you, yep, that one there. It ends in, yes, 50F. I think that you're on the right.
It is Barn Bridge. That's weird.
Yeah, weird name, Barn Bridge.
I like it soon. To me, I look at this and I see a long-term consolidation.
Basing period.
Doesn't mean it's ready yet. We could still, as a matter of fact, I would argue that we are currently breaking down and we're probably going to retest the lows. So I would be looking to try and pick it up near $15 or so. So let's see, we got kind of resistance here, some support here, we break down. We find some weekly resistance right here. We're starting to get follow through this week. Where's our buyers, by the way, right? Buyers not really stepping in yet here, right below resistance. So I expect to see follow through here towards support. And maybe we'll even form maybe this is even a Wyckofian pattern here where what we have is really a selling climax in this area, automatic reaction, a secondary test, and then maybe a push down into some lower range where we get a spring. So we're just not ready yet. It does maybe in the long term look like a consolidation area, but let's wait for some kind of break of the downtrend and just see what's happening here.
All right.
Because this weekly candle, I don't want it yet.
All right, there's your look at Bond Farm. Thank you very much, Perennial Drunker and Alex, for looking at that one. All right, we got to fly through these ones. DERO for Jonah. Love the show. Could you look at an old bag of mine that's been waking up? DERO, yes.
You say it's waking up, but I feel like every time we look at it, doesn't this... Or wait, is this the one that looks bad every time I look at it? No, this is not the one that looks bad every time I look at it. I take it back. Yeah, sorry, I was misremembering. Yeah, it looks like it could keep going here. I think when we were talking about this last time, I said that if you were taking this trade on the daily, like from here to here, it made sense to take profit. But if you're looking at this on a higher time frame, like 3 days or a week, I think we can keep going. And I do still think that. As you can see, sellers have not really stepped in. In fact, buyers have arguably pushed us up here above resistance. I do like today's candle. It looks like we're finding some support here on the previous resistance level. But it's a little too soon to say. We don't even have a continuation signal yet. So if you've got old bags that you're holding on to, just keep holding them. I don't really think it's time to get out yet. I think the time to get out will be once we break this parabolic uptrend right here. Like we saw on Bitcoin and Ethereum and a whole bunch of other ones, right? We were keeping track of that parabolic uptrend and we broke. And we traded sideways for weeks and everybody thought, oh, we can keep going. And we didn't. Once we broke that uptrend, the trend upwards was done, right? That's like, it's funny. It's like tautologically true. It's like we broke this line that is representative of the uptrend. And that means the trend upwards is done. It's over. So we'll just keep our eyes on this uptrend, and for right now, just, I guess, keep holding. I don't see any reason to dump it yet. What's next?
All right, we got a good pace going. DERO in the bag. Let's get into the next one. It's Cardano, ADA for David Rice. Also, I think I saw David Rice mention, how come the claim window thing didn't pop up every time? Guys, the DLive claim thing is a little funky. Sometimes you got to refresh your DLive browser in order to see it. But let's look at Cardano in the meantime.
Cardano looks continually rough. It looked bad before. It still looks bad even with today's quote-unquote bounce and recovery. We're still below resistance. We're still below the daily baseline. The weekly still looks awful. Just awful. We've broken the more parabolic weekly uptrend. We have a slightly less parabolic weekly uptrend that's still holding. And then the firm weekly uptrend that's kind of like all the alts have this one from all the way back in March of last year. And remember, corn and just a whole bunch of other assets have this particular uptrend. We are holding here on ADA for the long term. But for right now, look at this cross below the weekly baseline. Look at the probably inevitable follow through as we retest a dollar. For now, I see... I would at least love to see us retest like 75 cents as a short-term support level. And then presuming that didn't hold, I think I like 35 cents. This is a very interesting consolidation area right here. I also want to point out this this weekly divergence right here on Cardano, which is it's begun to play out. See, lower high here on our oscillator. Yeah, I think so, right? And then higher high here on price, showing us that there's actually, even though price is making a higher high, there's some missing momentum. There's momentum that's not there that should be there, and then immediately, boom, collapse and follow through. Okay, what's next?
All right, there's your look at Cardano. About 10 minutes left in the show. Let's see if we can fly through these remaining requests. This one's for Yikes10 on Twitch. Could you take a look at Bitcoin on the 3-day time frame? All right, I mean, you've already taken a good look at Bitcoin. Is there something of note on Bitcoin 3-day?
Not necessarily. If we got a cross up here, then I would consider it to be vaguely bearish. And I do like the way on the 3-day we have this this push down into support, and then we close back above support, and then we'll crossing back up. But we don't even get a 3-day close for another day and a half. So this candle doesn't mean much yet. This could just be us pushing back up into support, and then tomorrow we move down, and then this whole candle will be red, and anything we talked about today will be worthless. So it's not time for the 3-day candle yet.
Yep, not the timing for the 3-day, but thank you, user Yikes10 on the Twitch chat for that one. Let's get into this next one. It's for ETH1. He says SFP. All right, this is the Safe wallet. What's this thing called again? SFP.
It's a swing failure pattern coin. Got it.
Yes, swing pattern. You got it. Safe Pal. Yes, Safe Pal coin. Top trading pair. Binance against USDT. Gotcha.
Yeah, it looks like everything else, only crappier because there's not enough trading data to really take a look at it. I don't see any reason why we would want to take this over any of the other alts that we've looked at. The chart looks so similar, only we have less data and we know less things about it, and the team isn't, it's not like the team is, any more experienced or anything. So I don't see any reason. If you look at it this way, we're actually below support. It's kind of hanging around below it right now, below our daily baseline. Yeah. I just don't see any reason to pick it up right now.
All right, there's your look at Safe Pal. Thank you for that request, ETH1. Crypto Bull is one as well, I think, was repping the Safe Pal in the live chat. But in the meantime, we are in the home stretch of requests. Let's knock out these last few. Any word wants to look at YFI.
This is not too bad looking. Unlike a lot of ones, this one has actually crossed above our daily baseline here. Let's see what makes this level an interesting level. I'll tell you what. We haven't really broken the downtrend yet, and we haven't broken back above resistance, support trend resistance. Zoom a little here. I hope you can see that the downtrend I have drawn, it's a fairly good downtrend. It's strong. Resistance, 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 resistance. And we just haven't broken over it yet. And here we are. We've got support in the spot, support here. We break down resistance. We could push up in this area and find resistance again, right? And we're just starting to get above the daily baseline here, but we're not ready for long. We're not above zero on our oscillator. WADA's not firing momentum or volatility. Let's just give it some more time. This could be a good reversal spot. This is right in the area where if we got it, I would be willing to take it back up towards like 45,000. I kind of like this area up here. We got resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. Well, I'll draw this out. Where if we move back up, I'd love to see us take it all the way back to the top of this trading range right here. But that's only if we were able to break up above this level. What's next?
All right, there's your look at YFI in this case. Boris, no. The Splashy 85 is next. Good evening, guys. Could you check out Cloudflare Inc. for me, please? All right, we looked at Cloudflare last week. Let's check in with Cloudflare again today.
What's the it's net?
Yeah, I think it's net. Yep.
It's got to be a tech stock, yeah.
I guess in the lack of any other information, you could probably consider it likely to continue moving upwards. We've got an uptrend that's intact. The oscillator doesn't seem to have a problem with anything going on. WADA's okay with it. You don't have an entry here or an exit. There's just like nothing for us to do, right? If you're in it, just keep holding it. If you're not in it, don't do anything. There's just literally nothing to do. So just keep your eye on it. And if you're trying to find a way in, then maybe look for a retest of like $90 or so. That's a possibility. $90, $90, $92, $93, somewhere in that area. Other than that, just wait and see. What's next?
All right, this is the way. Let's get into, well, the final couple of requests. We're going to squeeze these in at the end of the show. Splash 85 We'll also want to look at XRP. All right, very briefly, XRP.
Right. Well, I feel as if we actually have quite a bit of resistance above us now, right? So this entire area right here is resistance above us. In the no trade zone, is the downtrend broken? Is that even like a real downtrend? All right, so we've got this downtrend, which is obviously clearly not broken.
Not quite.
No, not this downtrend isn't even broken right now either. It looks close to breaking it, but like this is an area with a lot of resistance overhead. If it breaks above 75 cents, I think you could probably take it back to at least $1. Should be a nice 30-40% move. But if we don't break it, then I would look to try and pick it up back towards 50 cents, 45 cents. I really like this support resistance level. You can see resistance here in this area. Resistance and then support, support, support. This is a nice accumulation area to look to be picking it up.
All right.
Maybe
Sounds like
just one more leg down, guys. Maybe just one more leg down.
maybe one more move down for XRP. All right, let's look at the couple last requests here. Torrent wanted to look at the Coinbase coin stock. Let's look at what coin is doing.
Nice break of the trend today. This is good follow through today. I would consider this to mean that the downtrend is broken for now. We may have a little bit more sideways, but we're likely to start moving upwards from here. This is good. This seems to be forming a trading range at least down here. Maybe the best thing to do is to buy some calls for later in the year. Maybe some 6-month calls out. Because 6 months from now, I could see us up from this area. I don't see much more downside now that we've broken this downtrend. Maybe just a retest of the lows sometime in the next couple months. Because there's still some nice volume down here that is relatively untested. So we move up a little bit, reject from here, people get ahead of themselves, we come back down here, trade sideways just a little bit more, and then coin really gets started going at the same time Bitcoin really starts getting going later in the year? Maybe? Just some thoughts. Anyway, be cautious right here. This is still an area of heavy resistance. I'm not ready to like rush in this spot, but I think this does mean that for now, I would not expect to see prices under $200 on coin. I wouldn't be looking for it. What's next?
All right, there is your look at the Coinbase stock. Let's get into maybe one of the last requests of the day. It's from Boris Bitcoin. He wants to look at MSOS ETF. It's a U.S. cannabis ETF. MSOS. All right. Pfizer shares. All right.
Oh, it's the second time you've had me chart this for you. I see. Well, the break of this downtrend didn't really do much, did it? It feels like the downtrend is changing. I can't necessarily find a really obvious downtrend that's like, oh well, that is just clearly broken. I guess on the 3-day we see this downtrend really is broken right here. And you could try and draw it some other way, but I mean, and this is like a really ungracious way to be drawing the downtrend. And even still, the downtrend is broken if you were to draw it like that. I guess we could see upside on this. If you held a gun to my head, I would rather be long in this spot than short in this spot. Maybe we could still trade a little more down in the high 30s, but I think this is a good spot to take a low risk entry, because you'd know you were wrong if we ended up back below like $37 on the 3-day. If we were back below this candle on the 3-day, then I definitely want to be out. We'd be back below this resistance support level. So I think if you've got good fundamental reasons to be in this stock or this ETF, I say it's not necessarily a bad place to pull the trigger. At the very least, you could be out with a less than 10% move against you. You know, right now it's around $40. You'd know that you could be out by the time it was like $37.50 or $37. So I think there's a lot of R on this trade for you to take to the upside if you're right, even if you're just taking it kind of this support resistance level up here, which is not a bad place to take it to. This is a possibility, and then also a retest of the previous all-time high.
All right, there's your look at that ETF, Boris Bitcoin. I appreciate your request. All right, we do have to move to wrap, but Christian Zeldon, I don't want to leave you hanging. I know you requested this multiple times today in the live chat. We're going to close the show today by a look at Christian Zeldon's request. He writes, what do you think is a strong dominant support for Litecoin, Bitcoin? Thank you. All right, LTC, BTC. Let's see here. Are we going to find support on this pair?
I feel like we're at a strong support level right now. Let's take a look at it. I've already got this all marked out. So if there was an area that we could find support from right here, this is kind of the spot. By the way, I drew this line probably back in early 2020. So this line that we're bouncing off of right here is one I've had on my chart for quite a while. So you can see here, support, 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 support. We break down right here, resistance, resistance, support again right here. And this is roughly 3,800 sats, or I'm sorry, this is 380,000 sats. Roughly 380,000 sat level. So, we're starting to get a 3-day buy signal. As a matter of fact, we did get a 3-day buy signal here, oversold as of 2 days ago. So this is an area that makes sense to be looking for some support. Of course, we could always push down in this area a little bit more, but you know, I've got the data that I have to go on. This is a support level. We've got a signal. Maybe we could find support here.
All right, Christian Zeldon, don't say we never did nothing for you. Squeezed in that last late request. Show ran a couple minutes late today, guys, but I cannot thank Alex enough for his enthusiasm today. Jason is always on standby in the background. Jason, when are we going to do like an evening regular stream? We need to do like a late night Breaking Bitcoin edition, maybe featuring your TA. Something we're going to work on, guys. You know, we're kind of trying to bring you more content to the YouTube channel in due time. It is coming, guys. I assure you, some freshness coming your way. With that said, Alex, once again, thank you. Let's check in with the poll, guys. Before we move to wind things down for today, I'm going to bring the poll back on screen, and we'll give that a quick look. Here we go. All right, today's poll, guys, of course, was with Bitcoin seemingly recovering from last week's this is it. Yes, from last week's panic lows, and Ethereum having now breached the $2,000 price level. Where do you think markets will head next? We had 3 options, of course, and let's see. The first option, this is just the top of the range. We're heading back down. 22% of respondents think this is the case. Dead cat bounce, option 2. We're going to plummet this week. 33% of respondents say we're going to plummet this week. Finally, the leading option, the bullish option, big move to the upside to rekindle FOMO comes this week. 44% of respondents, 27 votes currently in the bag. If you guys want to, if you haven't already commented on this poll, here you go. Dropping a link into the live chat now. There is a link to our community tab on our YouTube page. I do see 6 thumbs up here. I'm going to add a thumbs up to it and check out the comments as well. Mr. H, beautiful. Thank you, Mr. H, for that comment. Mr. Ether also came through with the comment. I cannot thank you guys enough for contributing. Look forward to checking back in. Let me fix this window a little bit. Look forward to checking back in on this poll tomorrow with you guys, because you know what it is. Tuesday breaking Bitcoin market update comes your way. Just less than 24 hours now. We will be back then. All right. As always, do remember to check out premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com for all our premium offerings, from education to signals to the pathways to profit course, proprietary indicators, so much more not to be missed. Premium.crackingcrypto.com, and make sure you check out our Discord community, discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Join the #1 cryptocurrency related Discord for traders anywhere here in the space. You know where to find it. All right. Ran a few minutes late. Appreciate everyone's patience. Here we're going to go to the outro. Final words to our analysts.
Trade safely, guys. I feel as if there may be a bounce incoming, but it's just too soon to say. You're going to be much happier if you buy a little later and know you're not going to get pushed out than if you buy right now and then you kind of have to watch over it all night to make sure that you dump your long at the exact right time if the market starts tanking. That would really suck. So just wait for a confirmation. You'll be happier.
Yep, I agree with Alex. Just be patient with it. Let it give you the sign that it's actually that it has that strength to make it up another level. Don't pull the trigger too early and manage your risk properly.
Can't wait to ride these markets up with you guys again. Well, maybe this week. We'll see. Short order. Sooner than later, we'll be riding the high seas again. Gentlemen, ladies, can't thank you enough. We're going to move to wrap here. Now, catch you Tuesday.
Bye.
What he said.